Good evening everyone. Horrible out there today, wet all day. It really looks wintry now, although it's warm bizarrely. So I came home tonight and thought, right, okay, winter stew. So tonight we're going to use the electric pressure cooker. This is a really good combination actually, using your electric pressure cooker and your Ninja beside it. It works for me so well. Tonight I'm going to do the stew in here, and I'm going to actually, a little bit later when the stew's done, I'm actually going to cook dumplings in the air fryer. So it's just brilliant, and it cuts down so much on a good meat stew done on the stove top. You're looking at a couple of hours. We're looking at 30 to 45 minutes in the electric pressure cooker. It just makes more sense. Okay guys, let's get cracking. And this is for a lady who actually subscribes to my channel. She asked me if I'd take her through a beef stew in the electric pressure cooker. I thought, yes, why not? And today's the weather for it. Okay, we're doing a beef stew. You can actually do just vegetables, chicken, whatever you want. What I love about doing any stew, I use up whatever's in the fridge. So anything that's looking at, you know, carrots are looking a bit past their best, let's get them in a stew. And I didn't really plan this. I went in the fridge and thought, what veg have I got in? And that's what's going in, and that's the beauty. And you can definitely do, you can do chicken, mushroom and leeks. You don't have to stick. This is just a principle. Okay, so tonight we're going to start, and this is 400 grams of chopped up chuck steak, stewing steak. I actually went to a butcher's. I thought, because people have said that, you know, I don't go to the butcher's. I actually found a butcher who doesn't do good sausage, I'm afraid. But his stewing steak looked nice, so I got 400 grams of that. So 400 grams of stewing steak. What I'm going to do is, before we saute, we're going to saute it in the pressure cooker. I'm just going to put a little bit of plain flour. This is actually Italian. It's actually what you call pizza flour. It's a 00 flour, super fine, but it's basically a plain flour. So I've just put a little bit of that in. I'm going to put a little bit of seasoning, pepper, salt. All I'm doing is I'm going to actually sprinkle this over the beef and stir the beef round so it gets a very light coating. Lots of people chuck the beef into a bag and put the flour in the bag, and you do get a better even coating that way. But tonight, well, it's wasting a bag as well, the way I see it. So pots, they just get washed up in the dishwasher. So there we go. We're creating less waste, kind of, although we're using more water, so you can't win, can you? Okay, I'm going to just wash my hands, and then I'm going to turn that on to saute. Virgin olive oil, favourite of mine. Okay, just what I call a glug. You don't need a lot, guys, but you don't want it burning to the pan. Good tablespoon. I've turned this on to saute. Let's click it on start. So it's on a saute, and I'm just going to give it a second. I'll explain some of the ingredients while I wait for that to come to heat. This bowl, I've got diced up swede. Okay, I absolutely love swede. Growing up in Yorkshire, this was a staple part of our diet. Underneath it, we've got chopped parsnip, winter root vegetables, full of flavour. This one, I've got red onion and leeks and celery. And this one, I've got potatoes and carrots. Okay, they're all the staple of a good winter casserole. And I'm also, tonight, I'm going to add some pearl barley. Okay, I believe in that we're not using enough grains, although they're becoming very popular now. And this is a really good way of bulking you. I haven't got an awful lot of meat. You don't need to be eating an awful lot of meat. So I bulk it out with vegetables. Pearl barley gives it that really homely feel to it, especially when you put your dumplings in and things like that. Right, let's see. Let's get the, see if that's warming up. I always sort of try and feel, it's starting to get warm now. I just want to give it a little bit. Yes. Okay. Now the flour that's added to the meat, it helps it get a nice little crust on it. because we want to maximise the flavour of the beef. We haven't got a lot, but it also helps as a little bit of a thickener. It cooks through in the sauce as this is cooking. That's why you need very little, but it is a multifunction. It is doing a couple of things. Okay, that's feeling warmer now. You can hear the sizzle. That's what I was waiting for. And now what we're going to do is just stir that round. Don't worry about it. We'll stick a little bit to the bottom because of the flour. That's not a problem, because that all goes when we add the glass of wine, because there's going to be red wine in this. When you add that, or even just if you don't want to add any alcohol to it, you don't have to. When you add your stock, that all lifts off. Now I'm going to let that sit there and saute away for a few minutes. That's going to be, I hope, quite nice crispy edges on it. And that's telling me that we're inducing flavour. That's what we want to do. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes when I'm at the stage to show you what's happening. And we're back. I'm happy. I'm not so happy it hasn't browned quite as I wanted it to, but I've suddenly realised I normally brown it off in my other pan and tip it in there. But that's fine. It's not going to be an issue. But it's at the stage where I now want to go on and start producing the stew. So my next thing to go in the pan is my, half glass of wine? So that's actually red wine. Chuck it in there. Like I say, you really don't have to use that. It's entirely up to you. And all that's deglazing. It'll sizzle away and you will cook out the alcohol. So don't go thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get everyone plastered. You really won't, particularly not on half a glass of wine anyway. But, you know, children can have stews and things. The alcohol content just totally disappear. So, okay, I'm just going to let that sizzle away. Yes, it's starting to come up now. So once that is bubbling away, we're going to go ahead and add our, I've lost it, bouquet garni. Yes. I just use a packet one for stews. A little packet of bouquet garni. It makes it very simple. In the summer months when I've got loads of herbs in the garden, if I'm doing a summertime stew, I will just go out and I'll tie them all together. I usually use, believe it or not, young rosemary, and you can wind it round and make like a little tie and put a sprig of herbs in there. Easy to pull out, not so easy in the winter. So bouquet garni is perfect. That's basically all your herbs that you would want in a nice homely stew. Sometimes I do add an extra, if I'm doing pork or anything, I'll add an extra bay leaf because I love bay. Right, so that's bubbling and that's going in there. We'll give that a minute longer. Okay, I'm going to actually add my pearl barley now. No, a pearl barley, you do not have to soak it, particularly not if you don't have to soak it anyway. Pearl barley can go into soups and stews. It does, however, normally take about 45 minutes to cook, but in a pressure cooker, 20 minutes. So I'm just sprinkling that in, and that will do. I think actually I'll go a little bit more because I've got an awful lot of veg going in. So 2 spoonfuls of that. And this is where I'll give it another stir. The thing I'm wanting to achieve is taking all the goodness off the bottom to come up. Yeah. Oh. That smells good already, and it's only got meat in it and red wine. Okay, in go your onions, your leeks and your celery. I've just if you're using leeks, you don't need to actually add an onion as well, to be honest with you, but I had it in the fridge and I'm away this weekend and leave my poor husband, so I'm actually working all weekend, so I didn't want the onion going off, so I thought let's use it. Get that in, followed by our carrot and potato. It's just all going in now, guys. Give it another little stir so you're mixing everything up in there. And now our swede and parsnip. Okay. That's just telling me the saute has stopped, so it's saying hurry up, let's get going and get the steam built up in this. So right, so that technically is my ingredients as such. Last things to go in is a nice dash of Worcester sauce, Liam Perrins, fabulous in soups and stews. So okay, good dash of that. You can always, if when your stew is finished you're not exactly happy with it, you can always add to it later. All you're doing is getting things going. No stock cube, beef stock cube. Okay, I am now going to bring my hot water over. You don't want an awful lot of fluid when you're cooking in electric pressure cookers or in any pressure cooker. I think roundabout, is that about half a pint? That looks about half a pint to me. Stir it up, just get it going, and then that's going in, lid will come down, and then I'm going to set this going for I think we'll go 35 minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll see how it is then and see what it needs, if anything it needs doing to it. It may, at that point when we're finished, I may decide it needs a little more stock, and I'll just make up some more stock. Obviously if you've got a bone stock you've made yourself in, or any stock you've made, that is by far the very best way to go. Extra, little bit of extra seasoning in there. The red wine we used was an Italian red from Puglia, quite a heavy one, 14%, perfect for going adding a bit of flavour in the stew. And my husband and I are finishing that off. Right, okay, let's get the lid down and lock it in place, and then let's go to menu and up to steam. So it's on steam, and I'm going to definitely need more than 5 minutes, so I've got to take it to what I need, which is 35. There we go, and press start. Just check everything looks right, and that's locked nicely. Right, that's it. So see you in about it'll actually be close to 40 minutes because it takes a few minutes. Your electric pressure cooker, it's on there now, and it will beep again when it's come to pressure, and that's when the first little bit of steam comes out as it's building. So I've set it for 35. Can seriously say to you it's going to be close to 40 minutes when we take that lid off. Okay, see you then. Bye for now. Right, we're back. The pressure cooker, I actually stopped it at 30 minutes because I suddenly thought 35 is too long, so I wasn't happy about that. So I stopped it beforehand, and I'm glad I did because actually everything's cooked. Also, it gave me a chance. I've just tasted it. Have a look inside there, guys. The veg have all broken down. The pearl barley has done its job. That's broken and looks beautiful. But when I tasted it, it is lacking, just lacking in its seasoning. It's not meaty enough. There isn't a lot of meat in there, so that could be it. But I feel that probably I only added the one stock cube. There's an awful lot of veg in there, which kind of in a way brings its own flavour, but can dilute the meaty flavour. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to add, I've just mixed up another one of the Knorr beef stock cubes. I'm going to put this on to saute, and I'm going to actually start on that. I'm going to add a couple more spoonfuls of stock and let it saute away. Taste it again. And I think that should. I will also put a little bit of extra salt and pepper in. Oh, it smells divine. Bring that back. It does not need any more time in the pressure. Everything is cooked. Just get a clean teaspoon out and just see how much seasoning I actually need to use in there. No, a stock cube's done it. That's it. So once my dumplings are ready, I'm just going to let that sizzle away now. I don't want it, the pulses and the potato have worked. It's thickened. I don't want it any thicker than that. That on a plate with a couple of dumplings sat in the middle. That to me is like winter bliss. So I'll be back in a few minutes, hopefully with successful dumplings. And now dumplings. Oh, they feel lovely and fluffy. Awesome. That looks very, very yummy. I think we're going to enjoy it tonight. I probably won't be able to move after this, but you know. Nice glass of red wine. Yeah, lovely. Anyway, give it a go, guys. Hope we enjoy it.